Is this impossibly hard? What was the shortest war in history, lasting only 38 to 45 minutes? Anglo-Zanzibar War. Which country was the first to adopt the Gregorian calendar in 1582? Italy. Who was the only U.S. president to serve more than 2 terms? Franklin D. Roosevelt. In 1932, the Australian military fought an unsuccessful war against which animal? Emus. Which Byzantine emperor attempted to reconquer the lost Western Roman Empire in the 6th century? Justinian I. The 1859 Pig War was a bloodless border confrontation between the U.S. and which country? Great Britain. Who was the last monarch of the Kingdom of Hawaii? Liliuokalani. The first modern Olympic Games were held in 1896 in which city? Athens. Which Swedish king was known as the Lion of the North during the 30 Years' War? Gustavus Adolphus. In what year did the first commercial flight across the Atlantic take place? (1939). The ancient Library of Pergamum was a rival to the Library of Alexandria in which modern country? Turkey. Who was the primary architect of the Reign of Terror during the French Revolution? Robespierre. Which African nation successfully resisted Italian colonization at the Battle of Adwa in 1896? Ethiopia. The Great Smog of 1952, a severe air pollution event, occurred in which city? London. Which pope excommunicated Martin Luther in 1521? Leo X. The defenestration of Prague, 1618, helped spark which major conflict? 30 Years' War. Which female explorer was the first to sail solo around the world via the Southern Capes? Naomi James. The Whiskey Rebellion occurred during the presidency of whom? George Washington. In which city did the 1955 Bandung Conference take place, establishing the non-aligned movement? Bandung. Which Viking is believed to have reached North America roughly 500 years before Columbus? Leif Erikson. The Opium Wars were fought primarily between the Qing dynasty and which empire? British Empire. Who was the longest reigning female monarch in history, confirmed? Elizabeth II. The city of Tenochtitlan was the capital of which pre-Columbian empire? Aztec. Which philosopher was the tutor to Alexander the Great? Aristotle. The 1916 Easter Rising was an armed insurrection in which country? Ireland. In what year did the Chernobyl nuclear disaster occur? (1986). Which treaty ended the War of 1812 between the US and the UK? Treaty of Ghent. Who was the Mad Monk who exerted great influence over the Russian royal family? Rasputin. The First Council of Nicaea was convened by which Roman emperor in 325 AD? Constantine. Which Portuguese explorer was the first European to reach India by sea? Vasco da Gama. The Boxer Rebellion in China targeted which primary group? Foreigners, Christians. The Taiping Rebellion, the bloodiest civil war in history, occurred in which country? China. Who was the Japanese emperor during World War II? Hirohito. Which U.S. state was briefly an independent republic before joining the Union in 1845? Texas. The Balfour Declaration expressed support for a national home for which people? Jewish. Which ancient battle saw 300 Spartans hold off a massive Persian army? Battle of Thermopylae. The scramble for Africa was formalized at which 1884 conference? Berlin Conference. Who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize? Marie Curie. The Velvet Revolution led to the fall of communism in which country? Czechoslovakia. Which South American liberator was known as El Libertador? Simón Bolívar. The construction of the Suez Canal was primarily led by which French diplomat? Ferdinand de Lesseps. In what year did the Spanish Armada fail to invade England? 1588.